Have you ever wondered how one woman could redefine the music industry and inspire generations of artists? This is not just any woman we are talking about. This is Bessie Smith, the Empress of Blues, a groundbreaking figure in the jazz and blues scene, who forever changed the landscape of music. Her profound influence resonates through different genres, rippling through time to touch the chords of contemporary artists. Bessie Smith's music was not just a collection of tunes and lyrics, but a powerful expression of her life experiences, raw emotions, and indomitable spirit. Her songs were a mirror that reflected society, and in doing so, they broke barriers and opened doors for future artists. Her impact on the music industry is immeasurable, but it's not just her music that made Bessie Smith an icon. It's her resilience, her boldness, her refusal to be anything less than herself. To fully understand the magnitude of her impact, we must dive into the life of the woman behind the music. Born in the humble surroundings of Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1894, Bessie Smith's journey to stardom was far from ordinary. The youngest of 7 children, Bessie's early years were marked by hardship. Both her parents had passed away by the time she was 9, leaving her and her siblings to fend for themselves. Bessie found solace in music and soon took to the streets, singing for pennies to help support her family. This was where she honed her unique style that would later captivate audiences far and wide. In her early teens, she joined the Moses Stokes Troupe, a traveling vaudeville show, where she met the mother of blues, Ma Rainey. Under Rainey's mentorship, Bessie began to understand the power of blues music, a genre that was just beginning to gain popularity. These early experiences not only shaped Bessie's music, but also hardened her resolve to succeed in a world that was often hostile. In the 1920s, Bessie Smith emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. This was a time when the world was ready for a voice like hers, a voice that could stir the soul and make the heart weep. And she delivered. Signing with Columbia Records marked the beginning of a meteoric rise to fame. Her first record, Downhearted Blues, was a roaring success, selling over a whopping 200,000 copies in its first 6 months. It was clear that Bessie Smith was not just a singer, she was a phenomenon. With her powerful voice and undeniable talent, she rightfully earned the title Empress of the Blues. But her influence extended beyond her own work. Bessie Smith collaborated with many notable musicians of the era, and together, they created sounds that still reverberate in the annals of music history. At the peak of her career, Bessie Smith was the highest-paid black entertainer of her time. Even after her untimely death in 1937, Bessie Smith's influence resonated and continues to do so. Her life might have been cut short, but her voice, her spirit, and her music live on. In the years following her death, interest in her music experienced a decline. The world was changing, music was evolving, and the blues of Bessie Smith seemed to fall out of favor. But as they say, true art never dies, it only hibernates. In the 1970s, a resurgence of interest in Bessie Smith's music began with the release of the biopic, Bessie. The film brought her story and her music back into the limelight, reminding the world of the raw power and emotion that Bessie Smith brought to the stage. Then in 2015, HBO released a film aptly named Bessie, further cementing her legacy in the annals of music history. The film garnered critical acclaim and introduced a whole new generation to the Empress of Blues. And it's not just the films. Her music continues to inspire modern artists across genres. From rock to pop, from jazz to country, echoes of Bessie Smith can be heard. Her fearlessness in expressing her emotions, her trailblazing attitude, and her incomparable voice have left an indelible mark on music that cannot be erased. Artists like Janis Joplin, Nina Simone, and Amy Winehouse are just a few who have cited Bessie Smith as an influence. Her songs have been covered by countless musicians, each adding their own spin, but always acknowledging the original Empress of Blues. Bessie Smith's legacy is not just in her music, but also in the path she paved for future generations of artists. She broke barriers and defied societal norms, proving that a black woman could be a leading figure in the music industry. Bessie Smith, the Empress of Blues, changed the music industry forever, and her legacy lives on, proving that her music is indeed timeless.